and welcome to the For Future Mothers podcast. I am so excited to have Whitney Miner here with me today. Whitney Miner is a certified holistic nutritionist, a certified yoga instructor, a wellness advocate, and the founder of Eat, Plants, and Prosper. She's passionate about helping her community get healthy through teaching the transformative benefits of mindful eating, movement, and meditation. She encourages others to achieve optimal health through a holistic approach of finding balance and mindfulness in all aspects of life. When she's not in the kitchen, cooking up vegan recipes, coaching her clients, leading workshops, or teaching yoga classes, Whitney enjoys spending time with her two daughters, her family, and her friends. And again, I am so excited to have you here, Whitney, to tell us more about yourself and give us some tips on mothering. You're a mompreneur. You have a growing, budding business, and you're a mom,
yes,
right?
Yes, I am a mom. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm super excited to be here. But yes, I'm a mom. I am a mom. Mom of two girls. I have a daughter who's 20. She's in her sophomore year of college. And then I have a 9-year-old. So big age gap there and lots of wisdom that has come because of that.
Yeah. I love that you can speak to the cycles getting to 20, but then also speak more recently to what's going on 9 because they're two different generations, right? That you're raising.
Yes, I always say that I realized how crazy life was really about to get when I was like breastfeeding my youngest daughter while I'm helping my oldest daughter with algebra. I'm like, these two things absolutely do not go together, but this is my life, and so that has just been the case. Yeah, it's been the case. But it's been beautiful. They're great kids. I'm blessed.
Yeah. So let's tell us about your business. If you can tell us what it's like being a mom in your business, and then we'll get to your advice. But first, your business.
Yes, my business, Eat, Plants, and Prosper. I just honestly, God really just gave me the purpose to do this. I got healed through nutrition from migraines and just a lot of illnesses that I dealt with my whole entire life. And so, God gave me the purpose to really help others get as healthy as they can so that they can fulfill their God-given purpose on earth. So, it's been a joyous ride for sure, but also very challenging because being a mom, you have to balance not just the business, but also taking care of these little people, right? And so my schedule is always susceptible to whatever they have going on, and that has always been the case. And so I kind of become a master of trying to figure out when pockets of time where I can make sure that I am available to them, because that is so important to me. But also, have those times where I am available for my clients that I'm health coaching, or for meal prepping, or for, teaching yoga classes. So really learning to kind of maneuver my schedule around a life that is so important to me, that part of my life that I don't want to, let fall off, because I am, an entrepreneur, and you know how that can be, where you're trying to start a business, and, so it does
It's like
help
another
me.
baby. Yeah.
It really is. And so I think the beautiful thing about it is instead of looking at motherhood and having those responsibilities as a limitation, which I think we do so often, it really is a blessing that helps me have the work-life balance, or work-life balance is not a real thing actually, is have the balance that I need in aspects of my life. And so that is the way that I've chosen to look at it, and that helps.
I really appreciate what you just said. Work-life balance is not a real thing. And I would love for you to expound on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So your life is your life. It's not segmented, and we do this a lot here. I don't know what the deal is with us in the Western world. Well, I have a whole bunch of theories on that, and a whole bunch of research behind those theories, but we have really just tried to segment so many things in our life. We try to segment our physical health as if it's separate from our mental and emotional well-being.
Right.
And so same thing with work-life balance. Like, you have a life, and there are different components in your life, and you just want to have a balanced approach, not just with work, but in all aspects of your life. And so the concept of having to have work be the priority, and that you're trying to balance, everything else, but you have this work, it's like, that's out of whack. It should be like family life balance or whatever brings you joy, right? Balance, making sure that you're inserting those things because the work is going to happen. You know, hopefully it's work that is purposeful to you and fulfilling to you, but it should be a part of your life, something that you can integrate into your life, and therefore you don't need to segment it out as if I have to get away from my work. It's like, okay, I need to take a break from this so that I can actually go do other things.
I feel like there's so much maturity and experience in your words, and it makes me wonder, before you had your first child, did you think the same way? What was life for you like then?
Absolutely did not think that way at all. It was actually, before I had my first daughter, I had different aspirations. So I wanted to be a chef, but I also wanted to go to college. And so I did go to college. I was young. I wanted to have fun and enjoy that. And I did. It was a great experience. But I got pregnant with her, you know, shortly thereafter, and it changed my plans. I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to, and I knew having her that having chef's hours probably not going to be the best thing. Right, exactly. And so I went into advertising, went into marketing, and I kind of stayed there my whole entire career. But my thought process definitely was that, you know, I wanted to climb the ladder as far as possible, and then, you know, obviously have time with my family, but climbing that corporate ladder was so important to me at the time. But having her changed my perspective on everything. It was like, okay, it's not just me that I need to be worried about. You know, I need to also take into consideration that this little person needs me and needs me to be around. And so I began to, and this was like the biggest blessing, and I didn't realize it, I began to find jobs that were able to help me fit my lifestyle in, right? And so that became a top priority. What I didn't realize back then was that led me to being able to say, well, how I feel at this job and my life is so important that this job is just a small part of that. And yes, it does help me finance everything that I want to do and want to experience. It's not the thing that I should be circling my life around. I should be circling my life around the things that make me happy, and my children were a part of that. So that was a mind shift that had to happen. It took me years to get there, but yeah, totally different perspective. I was like, I'm gonna grind it out. I'm gonna be VP of advertising at Nike, like all these things. And it's like, yeah, those people like work like 70 hours a week. That's just not, that's not what you want to do.
And I think this is such an interesting conversation what you're bringing, because we definitely live in the time of a woman can do it all.
Yes.
She can do it all, and she could be at the top of her game with everything. And I feel like what you're saying is about, you can, as long as you're strategic around what that is, what works well for you, what brings you joy, and of course prioritizing the health and the wellness of your children.
Absolutely. Summed it up beautifully. That's exactly it.
I'm learning from you. This is lovely. So you had your first child, right? And so you realized you had to have some life shifts.
Yes.
And then you have your second child.
No one prepared, like, and I said the same thing too about parenthood. Like, you know, even if they wrote like a manual on it, your kid has their own personality. They have their own quirks that are unique, right? They're unique individuals, unique spirits, and so there's going to be some curveballs thrown in there. And so going from 1 to 2, like, it's a huge adjustment, especially after it was 11 years. So I was used to like kind of, you know, had an only child type of situation, and now this child is active. She's involved in basketball, and you know, she's playing flag football, and she's playing softball, and all these games. But I'm toting now a little newborn who, my youngest, she's not going to let you just forget that she's there, okay? Like, you're not going to she's not just a set and forget type of baby, okay? She's going to need some type of attention from you. She's going to demand that, and good for her, right? Because let me tell you, she is going to make her presence known. And so it was a huge adjustment going from 1 to 2. But I think I really wish that I would have had more patience and grace with myself, right? Because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as moms, and I felt like I had nailed it, like with my oldest daughter, you know, it was like a mess with my youngest daughter because it was just like, this is a new environment, like it was like starting over again. And so I wish that I would have been able to kind of just say to myself, okay, relax, you're gonna figure this out. God gave you both of these children at these 2 very different times for a reason. You can manage this, you can handle it. Give yourself some space. Think about the things that you can remove from your plate that are unnecessary. Because when you think about all of the things that you do in a day, a lot of them are things that you are doing by habit. You're doing, for what reasons that are not necessary and needed at this time and at this space. And so I think when we go into these new life phases, we should always keep in mind that we should allow opening, like a space, and create space for ourselves to figure it out.
Yes.
And create and not just kind of like panic, because I felt like there was a lot of panic going on at that time, because I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of not doing what I was able to do with my oldest daughter. It's like, you have 2 kids now, not one. It's like you have to talk to yourself and get yourself kind of like level set. And I wish I would have done that much sooner than I did with my second one. So again, another big adjustment, and even more reason to kind of adjust my work-life balance and figure out, again, work-life balance not a thing, but adjust the balance that's going on in my life, and figure out what is priorities, what isn't, what can fall off, what do I need to do more of, and then also create space for myself.
So tell us this, or how did you even get to that piece of wisdom? Like, so you're talking about what I would say is like a stretching time, right? It's very uncomfortable.
Yes.
You don't know how far, you're stretching yourself, you don't know how far you're gonna go, you feel the tension, you don't know where this is going, but you want it to go to a good place. What exactly did you tell yourself? What created that shift for you to then get to the place where you are now with your 2 kids, where you have that balance again?
Honestly, this is the truth now. It was almost like I was on the verge of like a mental breakdown. Like, I was so close to it, and I could feel it. I could feel it, and I'm like, if you continue down this path, it's not going to be good, and you have to keep yourself sane for your children. Right. So I'm still working a job that was more stressful than I needed it to be at the time. My marriage was in flux and going through a lot of crazy things at the time. So it was reaching a breaking point and a boiling point that it took for me to really say, okay, I really have to stop and make some adjustments for myself. And the biggest thing that I started doing was paying attention to me and pouring into myself. So that's when the yoga practice started, because it was like, I need some peace. I need some things that bring me some type of peace. The meditation started. Then I started to be able to think clearly and make some decisions that I felt like were really good for myself and my children. And so I think that's a thing that we neglect as women a lot, is paying attention to what's going on inside of here and making adjustments for ourselves, and understanding from that place you can be a much better mother, you can be a much better partner, much better spouse, co-worker, sister, friend, all of that. And so that shift was really what did it.
I think that's so powerful, those frequent check-ins with yourself, because it is so easy to kind of be in your head too much, get out of your body, and just kind of be on a routine, be more reactive than responsive. And taking that time to just kind of go back within yourself and kind of remember who you are, bring all that energy back in, bring it to you, and then be more purposeful with where you're applying your energy. I think that's powerful for mothers and non-mothers alike. There's so many things calling us in this world, calling our attention, and it's like, well, how do I know what's my thing to pay attention to? Right.
And you won't know unless you do take the time to really sit with yourself. And we just don't create space to do that. We're living in a society where it's like go, and people see rest as being lazy and not productive, and it's like, it's actually the opposite. You need to make sure that you're prioritizing that time to give yourself, to really think about, okay, you know what, these things feel off, and so I need to try what adjustments can I make so that I'm feeling in a better feeling space. And then from there, again, everything flows so much more smoothly, including being a mother, for sure.
And so is this where the yoga teacher certification came in?
Yes, that is definitely where I was like, okay, this really has been life-changing for me, because honestly, I initially started doing the yoga as a way to stretch after working out. And so then I was like, but I feel really good. Like, every time I get off the yoga, I feel so good. And so then, you start continuing to practice, and it's like, oh, you understand that, like, oh, yoga in and of itself is meant for you to actually go within and meet yourself. As they a famous quote, like, yoga is a journey, like, through yourself to yourself. Like, that is what it really is. And so it started to bring me so much peace and joy. And I started to look into more, like, why do I feel so good after doing this? And then, I just really started to connect with it. So I wanted to be able to provide that to our community, because I just didn't see a lot of, black and brown yoga instructors. Like, you just didn't see it. And so I wanted to change that, because we need it. And, white people do not own wellness. So, we have the capabilities to tap into those things. And they were Kemetic yoga back in Kemet. I mean, so like, we have used these tools for many, many years, and so I was hoping to be able to reintroduce that to our community any way possible.
Yeah, and with your family too, I imagine that you bring those yoga practices into the home.
Absolutely, absolutely. So my youngest daughter, like, definitely got on the yoga mat a lot together. She's on to meditation. My oldest daughter, meditation as well, and just bringing in those principles. There are a lot of principles in yoga that just I really took to heart. And one of them is, to really tell the truth, but do it in a nonviolent way, right? So practicing nonviolence, called ahisma. And that changed me a lot, and changed my relationship with my children, because I realized that these are human beings. And obviously that sounds so cliche, but the way that we grew up, and the way that, some of our parents may have talked to us. I had great parents, but your grandparents or whoever else, some of the things that were said to us as we were growing up were not kind. They were not.
Definitely way less filters. It was like straight to the point. Do this. I don't care how you feel. Yeah, I definitely had a similar experience. Yes.
And so I'm like, but why don't I care how my children feel though? Why? So I want to tell them to have a voice outside of the house, but in the house they have no voice at all. Like, they shouldn't. Yeah,
it's not going to translate, right?
Right.
It starts at home.
It starts at home. So that my daily interactions with them have changed so much, just based on just simple yoga principles. So yeah, it was a game changer all around, not just for me, but for everyone that I'm dealing with, and particularly them.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you have all these experiences while you are birthing and raising your children. You're also birthing and raising this business that's now Eat Plants and Prosper, right? Which the food is delicious, okay? Like, delicious vegan and vegetarian food. And I just really, and wait, I said vegetarian, but have I ever had anything vegetarian from you? Or has it only been vegan?
I think it's only been vegan.
So there's no, in your curries, there's no, okay. So
no dairy.
No,
yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, amazing vegan food.
Thank you.
The curry is one of my favorites.
I should have bought you some. I just made some. I didn't. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Over. I know.
There will definitely be another time
where
I will be able to enjoy your curry. But like, so many good things. Have really great collard green wraps. We had with the peanut sauces. The sauces.
They're like my favorite. I love condiments. So.
Yes, me too. I mean, if you're a sauce person, it's the sauces, right? Like, the queen, and you're making, what amazes me is, like, I'm like eating, like, you made this from scratch.
Yeah.
This is very thoughtfully prepared. The flavors just meld so well. So I really enjoy your cooking, and it feels homey, which is what I love. It's like we could eat out all the time, but there's something about, like, having, like, a meal prepared for you that feel like something you were feeding your kids.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. You're at the family table.
Yes, like you were making me so happy. Like, I literally thank you so much. It is honestly an honor to be able to do it, because I feel like it's a full circle moment, right? Because wanting to be a chef as like an 18-year-old kid, and like now, being able to provide meals for people. I love what you said though too about the vegan comfort food, because I realized that that's my lane. It's like the home style vegan cooking is my thing, and so it just, I don't know, it makes me super happy. But yeah, building a business, I started my business in 2018, and it was like a side hustle, because I was still like, had my full-time cushy marketing job, and I'm like, afraid to kind of take a step and get out of there, and and so my oldest daughter is like starting to get towards graduation and all of this, and so I'm like focusing on those things, but also making excuses for not going into the business full time,
right?
And so I am glad that I was able to ease my way into it. Like that was the approach that I was like, all right, I understand that this is what you need. Let me just lead you along.
Feeling safe and secure is really important.
It is.
You know,
it is.
Like I've taken leaps, and I'm not anti taking a leap.
Right.
It does feel better when you kind of can ease your way into something.
Yes.
You know?
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree. So I feel like everything happened exactly the way that it was supposed to, and that my kids are such big they are such big encouragement for me. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Like they're like, my biggest fans are like, yes, Mom, this is so good. Like
you birthed your cheerleaders.
I'm like, this is really cool, because when they say it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like
children are very discerning, and they will tell you when something does not. If they don't tell you with words, they'll show you on their face.
That's right. They will. I'm telling you all the time. Like my oldest daughter, like when I was starting to transition into veganism, I'm like making these recipes, and she's like, oh Mom, that was really good. And then there were times she was like, no, those are vegan taste buds. Like, don't do that. So,
the iterations though, they helped you
yes.
with, everything I've had, I've just been like, chef's kiss.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And they still do it to this day. Like I made some potato soup, and the ingredients that I wanted the potato soup in my head, like regular potato soup that you get from the store is normally very creamy and white. So some of the ingredients I had put into the soup, it was delicious, but it made the soup a little bit darker. And so I had shot all this video footage, content, and I was getting ready to post it, and I was like, I don't like how this soup looks. I'm not gonna post it. And Martin was like, Mom, this looks great. Like you should post it. She's like, and the soup is really good. Like you should post it. It got 21,000 views on Instagram. I'm like, I need to listen to you. Like I have to listen to you. Like I need to listen to you guys. You guys have good suggestions and feedback from me. My oldest daughter told me to get on TikTok years ago. She's like, you would have been. So she's like, yeah, listen. I'm like, you're right. You're right. So anyway, they give me inspiration. They give me feedback. And it's been good. And my oldest daughter, especially now, is like, I value what you're doing, taking and stepping away from corporate America and what you're comfortable with, and going out here and building your own business. She's like, that is just like, I'm impressed and I'm proud of you. And I'm like, that's cool.
And it's part of your it just is something you always want to do. Wanted to do is part of your calling, your mission. It's the thing that brings you life, and you bring life into the world. Every time I eat your meals, I'm like, yes, she just did this. I text you and I'm just like, this is amazing.
Really.
Amazing.
My favorite text ever, when I'm like, oh my gosh, what'd they think? I'm like, okay.
So good. And it's and last time I had, I think I had your collard green wraps last time. And I was thinking, the thought crossed my mind, it would be so cool if you had some sort of business specifically for women preparing to be moms or pregnant or right after pregnancy.
Yes.
Because, to have this really delicious vegan comfort food, the soups, that nourishment, right after having it, they don't have to worry about cooking, but the food is going to be nutritious, thoughtful, it's going to meet their needs, it's going to meet the family needs if they already have children or with their partner, and it's also going to really help them heal and recover from childbirth. I feel
that. I'm like, that is
that should be a thing.
Yes, it's definitely. I was like, oh, she's giving me a great business idea right here. Yes, I would love to do that. That would be amazing to me, because I struggle so bad after having my children, that phase where you're just trying to get adjusted, and so not having to think about what you're eating, and knowing that you're still going to be eating something that is healthy for you and healthy for your family, it was a big deal. It would have been a godsend for me. So I love that concept. Thanks for the idea.
Well, it's yes, and I want to have to talk about the cultures, because in traditional Moroccan culture, Mexican culture, Asian cultures, right after a woman gives birth, she is nourished with very specific foods.
Okay.
So that's something, I know you love doing research
and
everything.
I'm my eyes are
so it's if you decide to do that, and then you're thoughtful in what type of foods. I'm pretty sure I would I would totally be yes, it's perfect, because I feel it is definitely something that's not necessarily, it's not embedded in the greater USian culture, of the aftercare of a mother after she gives birth, being very specific about the food she eats and have it be tasty, and she's comfortable, and she's getting the massages that she needed, she's getting the rest that she needs. That's a dream for people.
Shouldn't
And
it be
I
what
feel
that
like,
is?
exactly. I feel like it should be what it's their right. It's like the entitlement. It should be like
Literally.
you have to recover and be nourished so that you can really give more to your child and not be so emotionally, physically, and psychologically taxed and having to I have to recover and do this, and this.
Yes,
You know?
I love that concept, and I know people get on, or feel some type of way when people say like a soft life or like a easy, whatever. And I'm like, I don't understand why we don't think that we should have. You should, everything that you just said about like that should be the experience that a mother has after childbirth.
Right.
Not like.
And it's not even about ideology in a way, because I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just because she's recovering from giving birth.
Literally about a human.
There was a human that was created in her.
Yes.
And she pushed that human, or in some way was able to get that, and she needs to heal, and she should be nourished.
Right.
And positive energy should be poured into her.
Yes.
You didn't just birth the child. I love this quote. It's like when a woman gives birth, she not only births the baby, she births a mother. Right? And with each child she's birthing a new mother.
Oh, that's so good.
And I heard that in your story when you were saying when the second child came, there was a big shift. There was a new you that emerged as well that you had to become accustomed to.
Yes, that literally, it could not be more true, because like I was saying to you earlier, like I think I read somewhere that children come into the world with 400 already like psychologically predisposed, like they're basically they have their ways, they have their tendencies, and so your children are so different. Like that's the challenge of motherhood. If I had another child that was exactly like my oldest child, that's not a challenge at all. Like it's kind of like, okay, well, it's a challenge because you still have to raise a person. So let me not take that part out of it, but it takes a lot of the challenge out of it. If it's predictable, like I know this is what you're gonna do.
Right.
I am a totally different mother than I was the first time I was a mom.
Right.
Because I'm a second time mom. Like I was saying, I didn't give myself the grace. Like you have 2 kids now. Like that's a different thing, different range.
2 different mothers.
2 different mothers, because this child has a totally different personality. Totally different personality that she needs to be parented to, and so that nuance of birthing another mother is so true. So true. It's true. And I think any mother that you would talk to, they would tell you that all their kids are different. 4 kids, 10 kids. They're all different personalities, like, and so they do require a different version of you if you want to be effective at it.
Yeah. So having that time after birth to reconnect, just to heal, reconnect with you, have that yummy, delicious food. I also imagine like nice scents, comfortable linens. People, you don't have to worry about cleaning anything.
You said massage.
Can just massages. Yes. Like baths when it's okay for you to take the right types of baths and everything. Spa like things.
I love that.
Like I think I agree. I think it's the entitlement of every mother, and it does sadden me that like it's something we have to actively create or fight for or convince people that we deserve, because I mean, on its face, birthing a child is such a huge work.
Right.
At the very least, we should have like everything set up for us to heal, so that we can, start off with in our new motherhood.
Yes.
The best that possible.
I'm so glad that you're saying this, because I feel like I'm just trying to think about when I've heard, and I don't think I ever have heard that there should be so much nourishment going into a new mom, and and really to helping her reclaim herself, but also bond with her child. And to make that a really nourishing experience, that the concept is very foreign to, and it's not. And so I'm loving that you're saying that, because let's start talking about it and making it so that it's not foreign. Like this should, like you said, be the entitlement. This is how it should be. If you're going to bring a child into the world, this is the type of treatment that you deserve and that your child deserves, because ultimately that relationship and bond with your child is a lot better if you're in a good mind state.
All of our how we bonded with our mother, our attachments with our mother, is critical to our attachments with others, the relationships we have with each other, the relationships we have with ourselves. And so like it is very, if I'm going to keep it PC, say interesting that we live in a society, and honestly I think it's like sad and tragic that we actually are living in a society where we do not honor childbirth and the time after childbirth, You mentioned soft life earlier before, and I think that sometimes if people want to put that into a soft life, which I actually don't think it should be, I think it's an entitlement, like it's a woman's right, you know. But I think it's just kind of like, should life really be hard? You know, and especially should it be hard on a pregnant woman or a woman who just gave birth? I don't, and I know historically women have had to get up and go.
Yes.
You know, it's like there's no other choice.
No choice.
They have other babies to feed. They have to feed this baby.
Right.
You know, they have to maintain their job. Like
Right.
it's happened. But like ideally, you know, that's the dream for the future.
Yes,
right?
I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm gonna tell you why this is so important too, because yoga got me into understanding energy and chakra work and all that type of stuff.
Right.
And your root chakra is really formulated when you're still in your mother's womb and very early on in childhood. Your root chakra is basically the home of like safety, security. It really is your foundation. I mean, you think about root is basically, if you're building a house, the root chakra will be the foundation of the house. If the foundation of the house is messed up, the house is messed up.
Right.
Period.
It's gonna tip a little here. Something's gonna topple off. You're gonna have to put so much more resources in it because the foundation wasn't.
And so that's what's happening with a lot of us, right? We have faulty foundations because our parents were not in a great place when they had us, or our mothers were not in a healthy mindset when they were pregnant with us. They were under a lot of stress, as you just pointed out, under a lot of pressure, maybe working too hard, not able to enjoy the pregnancy. There might have been some tension between the partner. That absolutely impacts you. It impacts the baby. Impacts, and so the answer is absolutely not should a woman be stressed out during pregnancy or even after, because again, that bonding period is so critical and still is impacting their baby's energy and the safety and security that they feel in the world. And so if the mom is stressed out pregnancy and then now she has this baby and she's got to get up and go back to work in 6 weeks, which is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. You know, other parts in the world it's like a year. Yeah.
A year. So I couldn't agree with you more. You're absolutely right, and scientifically speaking, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. It's crazy. And it's like, so where you're going is really like, so I like to know 3 pieces of advice that you would give future mothers, and I kind of feel like you already kind of going in that direction and offered it.
Yeah, I mean, the first piece of advice that I would give to you is to spend time for yourself. Like spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself. Be in a good place mentally, spiritually, physically before you start to want to go down the path of, bringing life into this world. Because if you're not in a good mental space, it's just exactly what we just talked about. I mean, it's going to impact your baby and going to impact you, impact your ability to bond with your child like you should. And that just creates problems for you down the line. And so if you don't have peace of mind when the baby gets here, you're not going to have peace of mind after the baby gets here, right? Like, and so really trying to spend as much time as possible pouring into yourself, and then not stopping. So that leads into point number 2, which is, you really, I think, you want to not lose yourself. And it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do. And you mentioned this earlier. You said something about coming back home to yourself. And you're going to need to do that, because motherhood is, in the very beginning, it is extremely overwhelming, because it's like, you go from just you and your partner, to it's a whole human being here. And like I said, no matter how many books you read, and so much energy and brain space goes into like just trying to make sure that this tiny human is okay, which is as it should be. But that process continues on, because then that baby turns into a toddler, and it turns into and it's easy to just lose yourself in you're just a mom.
Yeah, the mom identity. That's my full identity, mom.
That's
full
it.
Stop. But you're so much more.
Much more than that.
Yeah.
You're so much more than that. So don't lose yourself. Don't lose your identity. Like, maintain your identity throughout this. Whatever it is that you love to do, try to whatever way you can, fit some of those things in for yourself so that you just remain intact, and that you are still, I'm still Whitney. Yes, I am a mother of two beautiful daughters, but I'm still Whitney, a person that has my own thoughts, my own needs, my own whatever else. And if I'm just totally letting those go and let them go by the wayside, this is why you see parents resent their children a lot. This is why you see, and it's like, you lost yourself, and you lost yourself, and now you're resenting them because you allowed that to happen. And so there's this feeling of, I've got to be selfless.
They poured into them before they poured into themselves. But it's also, and society encourages mothers to do that, right?
Of course.
Women, it's like, oh, give. That's what a good mother is, you know? And it's like, in fact, society will punish a mother for, how could you give to yourself? It's all about your kids. But really, you can't give to your kids until you're giving to yourself first. And I feel like, I mean, honestly, even for non-mothers, reminding yourself, like, you can't pour into others if you aren't pouring into yourself. And what I appreciate is that you're, in your evolution as a mother, you created a life so that you can do exactly that.
Yes.
Right? So you can be the best mother you can be to your kids.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And, you know, I just think it's so important to not, and it's the same thing, you know, with being a wife, right? Or being like, we just lose ourselves in certain things, or we only become like so laser focused on our job. And so we're just that. And it's like, what about your soul fulfillment? Like, why is that something that has to go by the wayside? It's not like these things are totally counter. The two things can be true at the same time. I can still be Whitney and still be a mother to Michaela and Marlo. Those two things can exist.
Whitney is mother. Whitney is chef, you know, yoga instructor, mother. She is all these things, and all of them. It's like there's a whole holistic life to it.
Yes. Yeah. So don't lose yourself. And then I think the last tip is to really, it's kind of two-part. Show yourself some grace, because you haven't done it before. And that's even if you have multiple kids. You haven't been a mom of 3 before. You haven't been a mom of 4. You haven't been a mom of 5 before. That doesn't. So we just feel like, because you've got some experience now, you should just know how to just mother in all situations. And it's like, that's not necessarily right. Like, you have to actually give yourself the space
be fair to yourself.
Be fair to yourself, and to go ahead and just forgive yourself, because there are things that
I can imagine, because there's so much going on. Just have to take a deep breath, forgive yourself, and just it'll go better next time.
Okay.
You know?
It'll be okay. It's gonna be okay. And one of the biggest things that I think that has helped so much with that is just admitting to my kids when I made a mistake. I shouldn't. The way that I, you know, yelled at you for not cleaning up your room. Yes, I asked you 25 times to clean up the room. But right, like I need to be able to communicate with you better. Let's work together to try to get on schedule, get the room clean. Like, how can we figure this out? And I'm really sorry that I lost my cool, you know, and, you know, I apologize. I'll definitely work on that moving forward. And it changed the game, I think, for them and for me too, right? Like, you have to allow yourself the grace, forgive yourself, but also go ahead and tell your kids, I'm sorry, like, because you're human, and so there are going to be things that happen that you wish did not happen, like, you know, between your engagement with you and your child, and so that's okay.
And there's no playbook for it, right? It's another relationship. It's about, like, except what you're modeling is accountability.
Yes.
You're modeling responsibility.
Yes.
Right? So it really, the onus for holding the values always falls on the parent. And it's a relationship, you know, it's a person that has their own personality, they have their own interests, they, you know, developmentally, they're going to be in different, they're younger, when they're the youngest, they're in their most ego self, it's all about them, and that's totally developmentally appropriate, it's supposed to be like that. That's what it's supposed to be, that's like a healthy ego, strong ego is a foundation that they have for the rest of their lives, you know, so you really want them to have strong attachments and feel confident in their ego selves, because that's developmentally appropriate. Now, when they're like 35 and they're still acting like they're 3, then we got some challenges. When they're a little baby, that's what they're supposed to do, right? And so it's like, balancing all of that. And what you said actually reminded me, I was watching, I forget what show it was, but it was Kelly Rowland telling a story about what you just brought up about having the room be clean, or something about having things being done. And she said she would ask her son a number of times and basically not get the response. And so then she would start yelling, and then so her son approached her and said, I don't like it when you yell at me. And she said, well, I don't like it when I have to keep on telling you.
You're not listening, right?
So many different times, but they were able to have a conversation around how they felt about it and kind of come to an agreement. Well, they did. They came to an agreement of like, okay, the first time you ask me, I'll respond. She won't yell, and that it's worked. And what I loved about that story, again, the responsibility, the accountability, the communication. Like what happened was, what she did was models. Like we don't always have to agree. Mm-hmm. We can come from two different spaces, but we can talk and come to an ending where we then both understand the situation and create a harmony with us. Yes. And have a loving family environment. And just doing that with her son is modeling healthy relationships for the future.
Yes. So that's what I was going to say too, is like, so then if your child starts to yell when they get upset at their spouse or their children, you're going to feel bad because that's the response that you gave to them, right? And so you're modeling out the behavior that they're going to have in all of their relationships. And so, you have to think about that when you're, having engagements with them. Your children are, I love that story about Kelly Rowland. Your children are, yes, you have them, but you don't own them. Mm-hmm. And so allowing your child to come to you and say, hey, that yelling, it's not good for me, and being able to actually hear him and listen to what he's saying, understand it, because you don't want to be yelled at. Let's just be honest. You don't want to be yelled at. Nobody wants to, if you can understand as a human being, he's just coming to you, can you not do that? And you being responsive to that, I think set such a good tone for him of, I'm opening up and able to be vulnerable, to a woman. It's my mother, but down the line, right, you see the connotation that now he's like, I can express myself, and so I can expect someone that's going to listen to me and be respectful of my feelings. And so it's very important if you want to build a sustaining relationship with your children in the future, to listen and actually take into account their personality and the things that they're requesting from you, and not just automatically say, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Do what I say.
Yes.
Or what they used to say, don't do what I do what I say.
Yes.
And it's that's just confusing.
Seriously. So
it's because children watch what you do and mimic what you do. So it's just stop.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to start to open up that dialogue, and I realize how I'm transitioning with my oldest daughter. We're going from a traditional younger mother-daughter relationship to she's my daughter, obviously always and forever, but this is a friendship. We have a very good friendship, a very strong friendship. Beautiful. It is beautiful. It is, and I think and I'm so grateful, and I do think it's because you allow the dialogue, you allow the feedback, you allow that, you show up and say, I didn't treat you like I should have, and that was a mistake. I won't do that again.
It's a human relationship.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
You're not treating them like they're a thing, an object, a doll, or just there. It's
emotionless with no feelings.
Emotionless, no feelings. Is whatever I pour into you. It's no, they have feelings, they have thoughts. I mean, I've always been amazed, even working with infants, how connected they are to the conversations of adults. And I don't know if everybody's noticed this, but infants will pay attention to what adults are saying, and sometimes you can kind of feel wow, you know what I'm talking about. And that's amazing because they haven't gone to school.
Right.
They they don't know anything about critical thinking skills or a Socratic seminar or anything like that.
Right.
It's just they're connected, and they come in with their own knowledge and knowings and things like that I really believe should be respected. And I think it's a gift to be able to explore that from basically conception on, what your child is thinking and feeling throughout their lives. I think is a gift, and I also think children are incredibly wise. Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, they definitely are.
Yes,
they definitely are, and they know and feel more than we give them credit for.
Facts.
And just case in point, I just my daughters, they have very strong sense of intuition already, and so.
I feel like they always
do.
They always do. They're still connected to it.
Yes, and we cut it off.
Yeah,
right?
We
make them question
socially
it.
Conditioned.
Yes.
We socially condition them to not, because we question our own, so then we'll question theirs. So
exactly,
it's self-care first. Don't question your intuition, and then you can help encourage your child to maintain a strong connection with their own intuition.
yes,
Yeah.
that part, like seriously, it is so true. And so you know, that is, I think, one of the things that I wish I would have known going into it, is to really allow your kids to be who they are, their personality, and fit your parenting around them, not them fitting into your parenting.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I think that's amazing. Like really prioritizing them.
Yes.
And it's like I think, you know, as adults we had our life. You know, we
Yes.
do our and sometimes it's true to some situations where people ended up in situations where they didn't expect certain things to happen or what have you. But like after it happens, it's like it really is about the child. Like
Right.
really putting them. And I think because we talked about self-care, right? It's like putting them first, but also it's like it's pouring into yourself.
Yes.
Like pouring into yourself so you can put them first.
That's right.
And so like creating that holistic lifestyle that you've created and you talked about, so that you can do that.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Yes.
it's so important.
I do too, and I think one of the things too, when we're talking about this, I can tell like you're very passionate about the work that you're doing, and I think we lose that. We lose it. You know, we lose it because we're not in tune with what it is we really love, and so we never go down that path. We start just working a job that is paying the bills and maybe paying the bills very well, but you don't have any joy about it, right? And so then, you know, you're spending a lot of time at a job that you don't really like, and so that impacts your morality and you know how you're engaging. You're exhausted when you're dealing with your children, and so that is always not right. That's not going to ever be a good space to engage with them on. And so again, they can feel that, they can sense that. You're teaching them in essence, stay at a job that's not great for them, right? Because it is paying the bills, or you know, it's this, you know, some status symbol, and it's like, you know, it's just a cycle. Like you're repeating that cycle. And so I just encourage people, like you said, just to start pouring into yourself. You know, I'm not saying everybody quit your job, but you might need to, because if it's making you miserable and you come home and you can't treat your family the way that you should, we've got to make some. Right? Like,
and even be, you know, you could be strategic about leaving, but like just put in your mind that, you know, this is what I'm going to do by this date, or I'm going to put this in place so that I can do this whenever if I feel like the time is appropriate. Yeah, to take care of yourself.
Right. To take care of you. Do the things that take care of you. Like, and then again, like it'll spill over into your children. You're able to prioritize them with no problem because you're already fulfilled. Like you're not feeling like they're taking something from you by, you know, needing your energy. And it's like, it's just unfair to even have that mindset in the first place, right? But it's what so many of us have grown up having, because it has been socialized heavily here, where, you know, you're just so stretched out. Your kids are a nuisance. They're a burden to you. They, you know, right? Like
and they feel that, right? And your children feel, and it does not feel good, you know? And it's like, if you knew that they felt it, I'm pretty sure like any parent was like, I didn't know you could feel it. Like kids can feel when you feel like they're a burden, or, you know, you wish they weren't there. And it doesn't feel good for a parent, for the child to, you know that.
Absolutely not. Right, who would want that?
Feels,
Like, you know, if you were in a relationship and
someone
made you feel like, oh my gosh, what do you want now? Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
wouldn't you be like, well, why am I here?
Right,
Exactly.
exactly.
Like, why am I here? Except like a child just can't leave.
It makes it so much worse on them, right? So to your point, it's like it makes it so much worse on them, you know? So we've really got to do some work. This is all about you, and we just totally skip that part. You know, this really is about you and your ability, your capacity to handle your life. And if your life is out of control because it's out of whack, you're spending, you know, 70 hours at work, like these relationships you're not going to have the time, effort, patience, energy that they deserve. And like, what are you going to have in 20 years when this kid grows up? And like, you're wanting a relationship with them, you're wanting to whatever else, and they're like, oh, I mean, we didn't build anything. Like you were gone all the time, or you were. And listen, I feel like obviously women can do whatever they want. You can be a CEO, you can be whatever else. I just, you know, the mindset of making sure that the life feels fulfilling, authentic
to you,
yes.
because that will be a blessing and a nourishment to your children.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing all your advice. Those were the three.
I think there was 3 tips. Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
So it's like, would you recap that for us? Like,
So first thing, make sure that you are kind of in a good mental space, a mental, physical, spiritual space as best as you can be before entering into this. It's a commitment, and like you said, it's a relationship. You need to pour into that, and so you got to make sure that you're
you're good before you can conceive, or before you do conceive.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
Right.
And then make sure that you are showing yourself grace. And it's so important. It's so important to show yourself grace. And then also,
if I can add,
yes.
if you don't know how to do it before having kids, learn now.
Yes.
Learn now.
Yes.
So it's easier to apply once they're here.
Absolutely. Kids are not you should, because again, you're just a human trying to navigate this life.
Yeah. And don't feel bad if you don't know how to do it, because our society does not always encourage us to be graceful with ourselves. So
I don't think it ever does, right?
It's always like, go do this. You didn't do this. It's very judgmental. Like, I feel like, especially in the age of social media, the kind of, I'm not that, I didn't do that. This age of comparison.
Yes.
It's like, understand that, like, this can cause psychological illness. Like, it should never be to a point where you feel like you can't do a thing because this person is this. It's like, that's not, like, you were here to do what you were here to do. Nobody can do it like you.
That's right.
Like, that's it. That's it. You get to do it, and you get to do it your way. And so, like, if you can own that and just give yourself grace for wherever you are, then that's a great skill to translate when you become a mom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And forgiving yourself, because it's like, there are just going to be some things. I mean, like you said, it's just like any other relationship. There are going to be some things that you do. There are going to be some times that you did not show up the way that you wanted to. There are going to be some things that your kids experience and are exposed to that you wish that they were not. And so if you just need to be able to forgive yourself for those things, and to, just show up better, for yourself the next time, and then don't lose yourself. That was the other thing.
Don't lose yourself. Yeah, stay connected to yourself and your intuition.
Yes.
And that was definitely also a skill that will pass on, be useful to your children.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
And so now this last part actually inspired by you in our pre-calls.
Oh yeah?
The what I wish my mother would have told me. Okay, this is the first time I'm doing this on a podcast. Inspired by Whitney from our pre-call conversations. What I wish my mother would have told me. Shoot.
What I wish my mother would have told me was that making sure that I am okay above all else is not selfish at all. That it is not selfish to prioritize what I need to do for myself so that I am able to show up for my family in the way that I need to. I wish that my mom would have definitely given me that little tidbit of, but I don't know if she necessarily had the tools to feel that way.
Do you think she did it for herself?
No, absolutely did not.
So you're kind of breaking generational traditions here.
For sure.
By even doing this and modeling for your kids.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's the one thing I wish you would have told me. And I also wish you would have told me that, all your kids are going to be different, and it's going to be, you're going to have to learn how to pivot and navigate that. And she definitely had experience about that. And I should have known. I mean, my sisters and I mean.
So different, right?
Like, could not be more different. And so like that's a you're gonna have to adjust to your child and not your child adjust to you.
Makes sense.
Wish I would have known.
Oh my gosh, Whitney, thank you so much for bringing all of your wisdom. Eat, Plants, and Prosper is in the building. Chef extraordinaire. I am so excited about the programs that you are going to build out. Definitely nourishing new moms and moms to be.
Yes.
And thank you for being on the For Future Mothers podcast.
Honestly, I'm so excited. Like, when you told me about the podcast, I was so excited because this is so needed. It's so needed. And so I just think this is just a brilliant idea, and I'm really grateful to have been a guest on this show, and I'm just wishing you much success in the future. I'm definitely going to be sharing it with every new future mom, new mom that I know, because it's like critical knowledge that you're passing on to women, and I think it's just a beautiful thing to do. So
Thank you so much for
being
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Whitney's details for YouTube is going to be down in the description box and in any sort of blurbs on any of these podcast platforms that we have.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Peace and love to everybody.